Welcome to the 2026 MITI and SHRDC preview session. We're pleased to have you with us today. This session is being streamed live, and you may participate either through Zoom or via our YouTube live channel. And please remind to kindly to switch your phones to silent mode. Good afternoon, distinguished guests, esteemed partners, and colleagues. Welcome to the 2026 MITI and SHRDC preview session, proudly hosted by the Seoul Human Resource Development Center. We sincerely appreciate your presence, whether you are joining us here from Seoul or participating online from cities across the globe. It is a great pleasure to gather in this hybrid setting, which reflects our shared commitment to accessibility, collaboration, and global knowledge exchange. Today's program provides an exclusive preview, the 2026 international training offerings of MITI and SHRDC, along with the 2026 new directions for SHRDC's international training program. We are also honored to host representatives from Metropolis, UCLG, and ICLEI, who will share global perspectives on learning, collaboration, and sustainable development. Today's session is about sharing our draft plans for the 2026 training programs and learning from your valuable insights. And your feedback will help us refine our approach, better serve our global community, and support both our alumni and expert participants. And we invite you to share your ideas openly, as 2026 promises to bring exciting developments across many areas. So please share your ideas and opinions via chat box and email us at shdcstaff@gmail.com. And before we begin, a brief note for online participants. This session is being streamed live, and you may participate either through Zoom or via our YouTube channel. And again, you may submit questions through the Zoom chat box. Our team will provide technical assistance if needed. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for joining us. And today, to begin today's program, we're pleased to invite our distinguished speaker for the special lecture. But before inviting Director Joe, we're going to watch the video together that we missed before. And now I would like to invite Director Joe from the SHRDC to the stage. And ladies and gentlemen, please welcome him with a big round of applause.
Hello, everyone. It's a great honor and pleasure to be with you here today for the special session 2026 MITI and SHRDC preview session. My name is Kyung-ik Cho, and I serve as the director of the Seoul Human Resource Development Center, which also serves as the headquarters of the Metropolis International Training Institute. I'm truly delighted to have this opportunity to share SHRDC International Training's meaning with all of you. Before we begin today's lecture, please allow me introduce myself. I began my public service career in 1996 with the Seoul Metropolitan Government at Gangdong District Office, which is one of the city's 25 autonomous districts, where I built a solid foundation in planning, budgeting, general administration, and finance. From 2000 to 2005, I served in the planning office of the Seoul Metropolitan Government, contributing to major policy initiatives and preparing key documents, including presidential briefings, National Assembly audit reports, and Seoul's comprehensive urban development plans. Between 2009 and 2012, I had the privilege of working in the spokesperson's office, collaborating closely with newspaper and broadcast journalists to manage media relations and strategic communications, effectively sharing Seoul's policies with the public. Later, from 2022 to 2024, I served as the Director of Media and Public Relations Division at the Seoul Metropolitan Council Secretariat, leading institutional communication efforts and strengthening the connection between the city government and its citizens. Since July 2025, I have been serving as the Director of Human Resource Planning Division at the SHRDC, which also functions as the MITI headquarters. Today, I'll be speaking about Seoul's urban diplomacy, how local governments are using international relations as a strategic tool to drive their global competitiveness and global presence. By building strong global connections and rolling out targeted initiatives, SMG works to boost the city's international profile, attract investment, and mobilize both human and productive resources, all in support of sustainable urban growth. Today, I would like to highlight the strategic positioning and the indirect economic returns of Seoul's urban diplomacy efforts. In particular, we'll explore how the Seoul Human Resource Development Center's international training programs and its role as a MITI have served as a central pillar of Seoul's global urban diplomacy. The strategic goal of Seoul's urban diplomacy is to promote and share the value of Seoul, going together with the socially neglected, or GTSN as an abbreviation, and a globally attractive city. To achieve this, Seoul focuses on three main directions. Number one, collaborating with global cities to advance the sustainable development goals. Number two, sharing Seoul's expertise and solutions for addressing complex metropolitan challenges. And number 3, exchanging policies and experiences with cities around the world to foster mutual learning and cooperation. Seoul is committed to creating a city where everyone, regardless of social background, can live together harmoniously. To support this vision, the city has developed the GTSN Index, a tool designed to proactively address urban challenges arising from growing polarization and inequality. Seoul implements a wide range of measures to improve the lives of socially neglected citizens, easing housing burdens for struggling youth, supporting older adults vulnerable to climate crises like heat waves, and addressing our daily life vulnerabilities. Importantly, these inclusive policies are not targeted at a single group. Rather, they reflect the understanding that anyone can become vulnerable at different stages of life. Through this perspective, Seoul has developed a globally recognized model of an inclusive city and actively works to share and expand this approach with other cities worldwide. When we talk about the challenges cities face today, from inequality to disrupted education, the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs, provide a powerful framework to understand and address them. Let me give a concrete example, Seoul Learn. During the COVID-19 pandemic, many students from low-income families fell behind it, facing significant learning gaps. Seoul Learn was our response, an online platform designed to help these students catch up and thrive. At its core, this initiative addresses SDG 4, quality, inclusive, and equitable education for all. But we didn't stop there. Through the SHRDC international training, we will share the lessons and know-how with cities around the world. This is a story of how a local solution can inspire global impact, showing how a city's response to its own challenges can become a shared opportunity for cities everywhere. In Seoul, tackling deepening inequality and social polarization is a top priority. That's why the city has introduced a range of policies under the GTSN Index, including programs like Didim-Dol Income Support, designed to work alongside the most vulnerable members of society. This isn't just a local challenge, it's a global one. SDG 10, which calls for reducing inequality, has become even more urgent in the wake of COVID-19 pandemic, which widened gaps everywhere and intensified polarization. Seoul's approach shows how a city can address these challenges head-on, while also sharing practical solutions with cities around the world, turning local action into a model for global cooperation. Climate action, SDG 13, is one of the greatest challenges facing cities today. In Seoul, we are tackling it head-on through a variety of programs, from renewable energy initiatives to urban greening projects. But we know that no city can solve this problem crisis alone. This is where urban diplomacy plays a crucial role. Through partnerships with international networks like C40 cities, Seoul shares its experiences, learns from others, and co-develops innovative policies to combat climate change. It's a story of cities coming together, showing how local action can drive global impact. Okay, having looked at Seoul's key approaches to advancing the SDGs through urban diplomacy, let's now focus on the SHRDC's international training programs, the very heart of Seoul's urban diplomacy. These programs do more than training individuals. They build bridges between cities, sharing Seoul's practical experiences and the policy expertise with public officials from across the globe. SHRDC turns Seoul's local solutions into global impact, expanding international networks and reinforcing Seoul's reputation as a model for sustainable, inclusive, and innovative urban governance. In that sense, SHRDC is the core of Seoul's urban diplomacy activities, where Seoul's local know-how meets global collaboration, making urban diplomacy tangible, actionable, and mutually beneficial. Through partnerships with international organizations like Metropolis, Seoul takes its urban policy successes and best practices to cities around the world, strengthening its position as a global urban leader. A concrete example comes from the Metropolis 40th Anniversary Congress, which was held in Seoul last month. During the event, we hosted a MITI sharing forum where cities exchanged experiences, learned from one another, and explored collaborative solutions. It was a vivid demonstration of how local success can inspire global action, showing that urban diplomacy is not just a concept, it's a platform for cities to grow together. Metropolis offers a powerful platform for major cities worldwide to come together and address shared challenges. Over the past decade, the Metropolis International Training Institute in Seoul has evolved for far beyond a traditional training center. It has become a hub for learning and exchange, where Seoul shares the lessons of and expertise gained from decades of sustainable urban development, giving cities across the globe a chance to learn, collaborate, and grow together. The international training programs at this SHRDC began humbly as a way to foster friendship and exchange with Seoul's sister cities. It all started in March 2008 when senior officials from a Chinese sister city were invited to learn about Seoul's transportation policies. Over time, the program evolved into something much larger. In 2014, Seoul expanded the program's purpose from simple friendship and exchange to sharing Seoul's expertise in solving urban challenges and strengthening the capacities of foreign public officials. That same year, Seoul became the host city for the MITI, the global training hub for major cities. Since 2008, the program has welcomed participants from 76 countries, 313 cities, and over 3,000 public officials, offering online and offline training on Seoul's urban policies. Seoul equips them with the tools and know-how to tackle their city's complex challenges, turning local expertise into global impact by applying Seoul's experiences in their own cities. Seoul is uniquely positioned for this, often regarded as one of the best cities to discuss and tackle complex urban issues. In Seoul's case, through SHRDC training programs, collaborations with metropolis and other global city networks has not only strengthened our global profile, but also created tangible opportunities at home. It's a reminder that global connections aren't just about visibility. They are a strategic tool for economic growth, global urban leadership. Seoul's efforts go beyond training and knowledge sharing. Seoul also provides financial support and comprehensive packages to help developing cities tackle their most pressing urban challenges. The Seoul Urban Solutions Agency, or SUSA, is a pioneering institution dedicated to sharing Seoul's integrated urban solutions with cities around the world that aspire to be smarter, more reliable, and more sustainable. Established in 2015 by the Seoul Metropolitan Government, SUSA was created to promote balanced urban development, not only within Seoul, but also globally. By fostering close collaboration across public, private, and international partners, SUSA helps cities tackle their most pressing urban challenges through practical policy advice and technical expertise. Through these international partnerships, your city can tap into Seoul's unique experience while accessing financial tools and cooperative frameworks designed to drive inclusive and sustainable urban growth. Let me introduce the Seoul ODA Challenge, a flagship initiative designed to support cities in developing countries with up to $250,000 per project. What makes this program unique is that it's city-led and locally funded, unlike traditional ODA programs managed by central governments or multilateral banks. It draws directly on Seoul's own experience with rapid, compressed urban growth and sustainable development. But the challenge is about much more than funding. Recipient cities receive policy advisory, capacity building through SHRDC, feasibility studies, pilot projects, and urban planning support. Through this initiative, Seoul transforms its own urban know-how into practical solutions that empower other cities to address their most pressing challenges. So to wrap up, imagine this. By 2030, 2.6 million people, almost a third of the world's population, will be living in metropolitan areas. Cities are growing faster than ever, and with that growth come both tremendous opportunities and complex challenges. At the SHRDC, our international training programs are committed to helping cities navigate this landscape. We provide innovative and sustainable solutions that address today's pressing problems with preparing for the challenges of tomorrow. Here in Seoul, we are building strong capacities and forging collaborative networks to lead global urban policy training. Our goal is to enhance Seoul's urban appeal and its competitiveness on the international stage, making the city a true model for sustainable urban development. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Director Joe, for your insightful and inspiring presentation. And now we will move on to the next segment of our program, featuring one of our key partner institutions, Metropolis. And we have with us today Ms. Helen Jordan, Programs Officer at Metropolis, who will share her perspectives as well as present MITI's international initiatives. But before we invite her, let us watch a short video about the Metropolis International Training Institute.
Welcome to the space Metropolis created to learn from one another and apply what works.
Como la ubicación, la velocidad y el estado operativo.
In an increasingly complex urban world, our city's future rests above all on our shared ability to learn, collaborate, and lead.
In Metropolis, I do actually urge them to work together, because when working together, we can go far beyond where we can get on our own. So we have to create relationships that last in time, and we have to keep on sharing our best practices.
The Metropolis International Training Institute was established in 1996 to facilitate training and learning activities. Since 2014, the Seoul Metropolitan Government's Human Resources Development Center has hosted the MITI headquarters. Today, the Metropolis International Training Institute includes 2 active regional centers in Cairo and Mashhad. Working closely with the headquarters in Seoul and the Metropolis Secretariat General in Barcelona. MITI is committed to creating and delivering training and resources for policymakers and implementers. Metropolis has been offering city-to-city exchanges for the past 4 decades. In 2024, Metropolis launched the Solutions Labs, a space where the largest cities from our network come together around a common metropolitan challenge. Through peer dialogue and shared learning, they are building the policies and practices that will help cities address today's challenges and prepare for tomorrow. In 2023, Metropolis also launched the Diploma Internationalization for local authorities, an accredited training providing participants with the skills, tools, and knowledge to foster international action in their territory. As the world's cities grow, so must their capacity to lead. Metropolis is preparing for the metropolitan future. Join the learning journey of MITI and shape the metropolitan future together.
Now it is my pleasure to introduce Ms. Helen Jordan, Programs Officer at Metropolis, who will share recent initiatives and forthcoming opportunities for collaborative learning within the Global Metropolis Network. Helen, now floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Good morning, distinguished guests. Good morning, Director Cho. It is my pleasure to be here with you today. My name is Helen Jordan. I am Programs Officer at Metropolis, Secretary General, and today my presentation will be focusing basically on capacity building. So please, you can start, yes, with the presentation. So yeah, it's basically, you can go to the next slide, please. Thank you very much. So that you can understand more or less and have an overview about what my presentation will be about. I've just prepared this kind of summary. So first, I will be addressing what is the future of the capacity building for Metropolis. Then it is really linked to the first point. It will be, I will be explaining to you what is the call for new MITI training centers. And the third point is a kind of introduction to the Metropolis capacity building products. Next, please. So yeah, what is the future about Metropolis capacity building? As you may have seen in the video that you have shared previously, we have been working for over a decade with several training centers, with Seoul as the headquarters of the Metropolis International Training Institute, with Cairo and Mashhad. We used to have more training centers, but well, with the pass of the time, you know, things change. So next slide, please. So we thought it was the moment to submit a proposal to our board of directors in Sao Paulo in 2024. And we submit to them 3 possible scenarios for the future of the Metropolis capacity building. The first one was the consolidation of the current model, what we have now to make it stronger and better organized and coordinated. The second one was the expansion of the capacity building activities. And the third one was, so the discontinuation of the capacity building activities. And if I'm here today, it's because they didn't vote the third option. So they voted the phase 1, which we are currently in, which is the consolidation of the current model, and as a phase 2, which is the expansion of the capacity building activities. And you will see in the second point, this is linked to the call we opened 2 months ago for new MITI training centers. Next, please. So in terms of mission and target of this consolidation and of the future of the capacity building, the target is to train up to 7,500 metropolitan civil servants up to 2030. It's a kind of, I would say, optimistic number, but since the creation of the capacity building activities at Metropolis, I think it's something feasible. And why, you know, we want to train so many civil servants is really to get stronger, more inclusive, more sustainable metropolitan governance, but especially to provide our members with more tools and skills. Next, please. So yes, moving to the second point. So as I was mentioning, the board of directors decided that we should expand these capacity building activities. So that's why we launched the call for new MITI training centers. Next slide, please. And we launched it actually 2 months ago during the Metropolis Congress in Seoul for the 14th anniversary of Metropolis. And well, I made a kind of summary in this slide. Maybe you won't need it because I think it has been addressed previously with Director Cho presentation, but for you as a nutshell, MITI headquarters are hosted in Seoul Human Resources Development Center since 2014, even if we have been collaborating with them with, more years. We have currently 2 active regional centers, one in Cairo, one in Mashhad. And the activities are all framed in Metropolis overall strategy, action plan, and the activities are developed in synergy with the Secretariat General capacity building initiatives. In terms of the formats, we use, we have online and on-site training sessions, but also ad hoc programs co-developed with members. If a member, needs to get a specific training in specific topics, so we can provide this, and also the participation in partner-led initiatives. Next slide, please. And yes, this is the call currently. So we launched this call to have more MITI training centers. We have want more diversity, and we invite the public administration from our network, from the Metropolis network, to submit their candidacy so that they can become Metropolis International Training Institute centers. And as I was mentioning, the aim is really to strengthen the implementation of capacity building activities, always aligned with the Metropolis strategic action plan, in this case, the 2024-2026. We launched it in, I think it was the 1st of October, if I'm not wrong, on the 13th of September during our board of directors in Seoul. And the deadline for applications is the 15th of February, 2026. So it's something less than 2 months. And the validation of the proposal received will be done in June 2026 during the Metropolis General Assembly to be taking place in Rabat. Next slide, please. I will leave the link here in this chat so that you can see what the call is, and if you are interested, please feel free. I have prepared a kind of 2 slides about what are the Metropolis capacity building products. Please, next. So first, the Solutions Labs. So the Solutions Labs were launched last year. Actually, the Solutions Lab is something we have been doing always, which is policy exchange. But we wanted really, to give it a specific name and a specific frame. And we bring cities around, the table with a similar Metropolis challenge. And we talk about the possible solutions or not. And in terms of the format, the usual format is to have 2 online sessions and 1 on-site session. The advantage of the on-site session is that you can do field visits. So you take advantage to be really in the city to do this. And we have also other formats like only 3 online sessions. So it depends really on the participants and on the topic. And in terms of topics, we have several topics, actually. It's really diverse. We have stray cats and dogs, for example. We have inclusive public transportation, inclusive city through place-based innovation, and so on. So it's really diverse. And for you to have some kind of figures, in 2024, we organized 10 Solutions Labs. We had 48 participating cities. And this year, we also had 10 solutions labs organized. We don't have so far the figure about how many cities participated because it is not over yet. But well, it will be more or less similar last year. Next slide, please. So the other product I wanted to share with you is the Metropolis Diploma in Internationalization for Local Authorities. This course was launched in 2023. It is actually, it has the support of the Barcelona City Council, and it takes place in the city of Barcelona. Its duration is 5 days, and well, you know, the learning outcomes are basically for participants to understand how international action can bring value to the city metropolitan area. Most of the cities of this year's edition, because we finished it a few days ago, didn't have an internationalization strategy, so I think it's important for them to see this value and what it can bring. But also another outcome is for them to design what would be the premises of an internationalization strategy. They do have an assignment as a final work of the course. It's to prepare an internationalization strategy for the city. Of course, it's not as extensive as it should be, but it's kind of a starting point. Also, they will be able to use tools to plan, to measure international initiatives and to implement it as well. And what the on-site participation brings is that they can really network and learn from the participants attending the course. Actually, we ask them to prepare a presentation about their cities, about how they address international action. So I think it's interesting as well in terms of knowledge exchange between them. Next, please. And yes, in terms of pedagogical approach, we have tried to do a really complete course. So we have expert sessions. So we have conceptual session, but also what we call skill sessions that are really interactive exercises. We put them in situation, it's role play, simulation. So it's really, well, it complements the theoretical part with the practical part. But we also use member cities case studies so that they can also learn from other cities, and taking the advantage to being in the city of Barcelona is also to do some kind of field visits about some related project to internationalization. Next, please.
By doing this kind of exchange with Metropolis and to see all my colleagues coming from other Metropolis, how they work, I will see how to improve our own internationalization process by getting some best practices, comparison and benchmark.
At the end of each year, we are preparing activity reports, and we are stating the prospective opportunities, challenges, objectives and missions in that report. And I hope that I can be a part of preparing such documents in my country.
We can see the same things from another perspective and see a better usage of the same instruments.
Or how to implement or how to create an international strategy and the concrete steps that cities should take.
The practical nature of the course as well is very appreciable on the basis that we're now looking into solving real issues in practical ways.
It's a very good atmosphere, great group, wonderfully organized course, so it's been a pleasure to be here.
So that's it. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Helen, for your valuable insights. Next, we are honored to invite Mr. Federico Poitier from the UCLG World Secretariat, who will introduce UCLG's global training initiatives, including New Directions in Inclusive Cities, the Gold Program, and early learning collaborations. Mr. Poitier, we warmly welcome your presentation.
شكرا يرون. It's really nice to be with all of you today. I wish I would be there. I know that the Seoul team knows how much I love Seoul and Korea. I used to live there some years ago in a small town, Chungju-si. So I'm really happy to be here with Seoul and the rest of you. So yeah, I'm gonna go through a little bit of journey of what we're planning next year, and also in general how we work here at UCLG. Just allow me, I'm using always my smart devices because I'm Latino, and if I don't put a time, I'll talk way longer than I need to. So yeah, as they mentioned, my name is Federico Batista Poitier. I'm the manager of policies and programs on accessibility here at UCLG. And so some of what I'll present, of course, like all organizations, is with a group of people that couldn't be here with me. So I just wanted to recognize my colleagues in the research department and in the learning department, as well as policy, that help really drive a lot of our initiatives forward. So on the slide I have here, it's we have our local social covenant. So this is really our political journey for next year. Each of the cycles of UCLG are 3 years with political mandates that either get renewed or grow. So next year in Tangier, Morocco, we will share this local social covenant, which will be a part of the strategy for learning and research and some of the pilot programs that I will mention later. So next slide. And this, just to give a background, I'm going to go more practical because I am more of a technical person, but just so that you have a background of our policy, this local social covenant is really bringing together the multi-stakeholder and multi-level coordination that's needed so that localization can happen. So we know that local and regional governments have a big role in the global agendas and making sure that they're actually implemented. But it's not only the role that we have, but ensuring that we have the proper support. And that local social covenant also wants to deliver a new social contract that's focused and really driven by equitable care agenda, and also this idea of equitable public service provision. So next slide. So one of the main aspects that I was mentioning is we're really growing a lot our localization of the global agendas. And for this, we've actually kind of created a learning platform to ensure that as people are coming through, they really understand what localization means. For us, I would say, the easiest way to kind of explain it would be the implementation of these frameworks like the SDGs, but also not only the global development frameworks, but as you'll see a little bit later when I explain, it's also the human rights framework as well. And both these global development frameworks and the human rights framework will really ensure that this idea of our local social covenant and our previous Pact for the Future, which is really focused on really creating territories that are caring, and when we say caring, it's not territories that are just focused on taking care of people, but creating an environment of care that allows people to really be enabled. So this platform, which I'll share some of the links in the chat, is on our Learning with UCLG. Where we have a lot of different materials. For this localizing the global agendas, we've created some modules. So they're self-paced, which you can follow and really get a good understanding of how to engage. And it is a part of our peer learning community, which I'll go into afterwards, and forms a lot of what we do in terms of online learning. And this training as well can be translated into physical trainings, which we do as well on the localization, with some of the some of the academies like the Hague Academy or or here this the Human Resource Development Center, and also in collaboration with global stakeholders such as Metropolis. So the next slide. Just to give you a framing of what I mentioned, on this same platform, we do a lot of peer-to-peer learnings. And these really go into a deep dive on specific topics. I know this slide may be a little bit little, so I'll explain just how on the left we have our peer learning notes, which are on different topics. The last two were on safer cities and also resilient and inclusive cities. And so this helps us go like beyond just the localization general broadly, but how can you in different areas and different topics really look at localization? And we bring together other cities to talk about the different practices that they're sharing and really try to show the diversity of context, but also how there's a lot of common challenges. Sometimes the larger cities, the metropolis and some of the intermediary cities, they may have some different contexts that they don't see the parallels, but there are some common challenges there. But also it's important to highlight those differences as well and those unique challenges that are both at the scale of the city, but also regionally. Increasingly, if we look at the different cultures behind cities, we also see how different it is to push forward these policies. So this next slide. I just wanted to give a kind of photo. Sometimes I think the online environment seems a little bit less personal, but through this peer-to-peer, we're really able to, kind of create a consolidated community. And so when we do meet in person, it also feels like we already know each other. And really looking at those topic areas, because since we're such a large network and there's so many different regions and so many different topics that are being discussed, it is really important to have these champion cities that are able to kind of bring those agendas and ensure that they're not left out of our political priorities. So the learning is really connected to how the policies get developed as well. So it's important, this community, to overall our global governance and making sure that those topics are not left out and that we ensure that, different areas, I know that currently we have our priorities around accessibility, around housing, around the new essential services. So a lot of these things are really built on this learning community. That even though you don't see them in the big Congress, but they were a part of that whole journey. And also many of them engage in the Congress as well. So it's very much a way to deep dive and really learn further and also connect with other cities. We've also had some cities that create sister connections on certain topics afterwards. So it is a great way to really follow through on there. Next slide. So I just wanted to add on top of the peer learning and this module on localization, we also have other massive online courses to get you onboarded and understanding the thematic areas better. On the screen, I have some of the ones that are there, but I will share a link in the chat that you can see. There are many, which we have one on building cities for all, caring cities for women and victims of violence, and looking at resilient cities and regions. So yeah, I would really like that you would see these materials, and also feel free to contact us if you are interested in also developing something or topic area. These peer learnings are not only brought in from us at the Secretariat, they're really member driven. So a lot of the cities bring forward topics, and with our partners as well, we try to link and create this learning. So there's also not only ways to engage in the content that's there, but also co-create content with us and bring a certain learning community around a certain topic as well. So next slide. And I wanted to also touch on our research process, which is kind of a continuation of the learning, that was saying, the learning really builds in what we do politically, but also in the research. And so we have a process that's currently running, which is the Gold 7. And so, yeah, as you can imagine, there's been 6 editions before, and these are really go into the research that collects a lot of the learnings from the peer learning, and really looking forward of how we can move what's already been done to the next step. So these really clear recommendations of how to advance the good practices and really move forward on what this 7 report is looking at: economies of equality and care. So on the next slide, I'll just explain a bit. For care, as I was mentioning earlier, in UCLG, it's more of this political mandate that looks to reshape the way that we do planning, budgeting, service delivery, the management of our territories, and really just sustainability of our cities. And it's really centering that this people-centered approach and looking at economies that promote justice and equity through these alternative models. So this Gold 7, which currently has over 75 contributions from different partners around the world, including our own members, the UN agencies, universities, will be shared in our upcoming Congress, which I mentioned in Tangier. And it's meant to be also a process that brings together our different communities, for example, our learning community. And in May 2026, it will have these reflections from both the national and international reforms. And the idea is also to turn this into a learning platform, because as you can imagine, research sometimes is not easy to digest completely. So we really wanted to make it into an interactive format. So there is ways to be engaged in the developments of this final version of the Gold 7. But also to say that after this Gold 7 is done, we will go through the different learnings related to the different chapters in that Gold 7, and also preparing for the Gold 8 as well. So it is another way to engage and really propose specific topics that will be part of our research agenda that influences our policy agenda as well. So next slide. So that was giving it like an overall framing, and I wanted to talk about also some of our specific initiatives that trickle down from those research and learning processes. So we have really been championing this cities for all concept, looking at how you really can create a city for all through equity and inclusion. To go through this, I wanted to mention our focus around accessibility which is driving our Cities for All framework, looks at the over 20% of the global population right now that are persons with disabilities. And when we add this as well to older persons, it really represents, close to 28% of the global population. And these are people in our communities, in all communities, that are being left out a lot of the global development and actions happening in cities and in territories. And we found that by putting accessibility at the heart of policies, it not only includes persons with disabilities and older persons, but also people who are caring for them, their families, and it really strengthens our economy. So we've been putting that as the focus, but showing how it is not only a social imperative, but also an innovation and economic sustainable perspective. And here on this slide, I have some of our colleagues from the Global Community of Practice on inclusive and accessible cities and territories, which is a global community of our members who are really championing this lens of accessible cities and territories for all, and highlighting how that transformation of looking at disability and age as part of human diversity really strengthens local public service delivery, And this is us here at the Global Disability Summit in 2025, which was the first time that we brought a delegation of local and regional governments to the summit, which is a development platform to engage stakeholders from both donor agencies and donor governments with other stakeholders from the community of organizations of persons with disabilities, and for the first time, local and regional governments and associations. And we have this kind of gear drivers looking at the global agendas, like the Sustainable Development Goals, the Urban Agenda, and the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. So bringing together this human rights and development framework to really foster localization and through inclusion and accessibility. And this has really helped us drive really tangible initiatives that first started off as a global platform, but now it's really going into some tangible projects on the ground. So the next slide. These tangible programs that will be starting, some of them have already gone, but I wanted to mention the ones that are starting next year and ways to be involved, is the Kisumu County for All. So we have one of our members who has been part of our journey of the community of practice over the last 6 years, which is Kisumu County, led by His Excellency the Governor Peter Nyong'o. And last year we were awarded a really substantive grant that is part of this Resilient and Inclusive Cities Hub that was launched by the International Disability Alliance, the Government of Germany, and the Global Disability Fund, and really looks at, over the next 5 years, really enhancing and supporting cities to deliver on the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. So we will have a pilot project in Kisumu County that will first be informed by the community to create a global action plan, update and amend the disability policy so that it is up to date with the current 2025 framework. And after that, with this community engagement and this inclusive governance to create the action plan, we'll actually do the change in the infrastructure over the course of 18 months. So it'll be an overall 2-year project. But as we have this community of practice, we really want to focus on that. This is not only a Kisumu project, but it's really a local project that's going to have a global effect. So it's the local global project. And part of the development of the action plan will also bring together feedback from the community of practice of cities that I mentioned, and also some of our partners from older persons associations and organizations of persons with disabilities around the world. So this Kisumu County policy and the infrastructure that changes will really be informed by a large network of different cities and regions and stakeholders. So we're really bringing that local global connection. So instead of top down, we're really pushing this bottom up approach and really an evidence-based, really coming to the implementation of the SDGs and coming to the implementation of the human rights framework and showing why local and regional governments need to be engaged, not only because data says we do, but look at these practices that we're leading. And the next slide. And another pilot project that we've been doing is really the responsible public-private partnerships. And I like to say responsible because it's really important that cities have the capacity to engage with the private sector. So we've launched an Engage for Inclusion initiative, which looks at smart cities. And as you know, smart cities is such a trendy topic, but we really need to create a normative around that and really what is a smart city. And for us, a smart city is based on the people that are there, because a smart city doesn't work without data. And data comes from really informed and smart citizens. And when I say smart, I don't mean this kind of intellectual smart. It's citizens that are engaged and feel that their voice is being listened to and shapes the policies that are going to affect their lives and the service delivery. And so through there, we've already done a pilot project called the Inclusive Procurement Launchpad Program. This inclusive procurement launchpad program creates guide cities through 6 trainings, and at the end, the cities both present and formally adopt their own local policy on public procurement. This local policy that they have ensures that each of the departments who are buying technology for whatever services, whether it be mobility, health, education, that these technologies are accessible. And when I say accessible, there are these standards that ensure that web content and information can be engaged from a variety of different users, blind users, users who have intellectual disabilities, also users who have learning disabilities that that often cannot engage with some of that information. And the more and more that the online world gets mixed with our physical world, and also in terms of the way that democracy is being promoted, it's really essential that everybody can be online, and that the future of public service delivery includes the internet as a public good as well in the normative framework. And so building off of that, with Microsoft, we will continue this procurement launchpad, but also the trainings around the maturity model for cities. I know my time is going up, so I wanted just to share one last slide to wrap up. So next slide. We would like to invite some of you to join us next week. So the International Day of Persons with Disabilities is on the 3rd of December. But to not occupy that day, we'll be doing our celebration on the 4th of December, where we'll be launching a new capacity building initiative. And to inspire you a little bit to join the session, I won't tell you exactly what it is, but there's also ways to be engaged in that process that will culminate in a new capacity building training and resource for cities to really drive forward this localization of the human rights framework, particularly of this Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, and also a way for you to be engaged in their learning platform. So I'll just paste also some of the links in the chat, and really thank you for your time. And if you would like to get in contact, do not hesitate. I'll also put my email in the chat for all of you, and really thank you very much. 고맙습니다, 여러분. 안녕하십니까.
Thank you, Mr. Poitier, and also thank you all our distinguished presenters for your rich contributions. Now we will proceed to the 2026 training program overview presented by the SHRDC International Training Team Leader, Ms. Kim Hae-young, and she will outline the key program themes, delivery plans, and new opportunities for collaboration. And following the presentation, our invited experts will be welcome to offer brief feedback and recommendations. So without further ado, please welcome Ms. Kim with a big round of applause.
Dear colleagues, partners, and distinguished participants, it is my great pleasure and honor to share with you the directions for SHRDC International Training for 2026. My name is Hae-young Kim, and I am the Assistant Director for SHRDC International Training. Since 2024, SHRDC has transformed its training approach by introducing an integrated policy program aligned with the Seoul Metropolitan Government, going together with the Socially Neglected or GTSN initiative and its broader vision for inclusive, people-centered policies. Previous initiatives such as GTSN and Attractive City were promoted, separated by different SMG departments. SHRDC has now consolidated this into a structured training package, providing a comprehensive learning experience. The program has been very well received, leading to this year's second edition of the GTSN and Attractive City Training Program, which many of you here today are participants in. In 2025, this upgraded version expanded the range of policy areas covered and strengthened the elements that were well received in the previous edition. From a training method perspective, SHRDC has continued the strategic approaches established in 2023, integrating online and offline training to maximize both reach and depth. Throughout online programs, we engage the wide global audience, while our deep dive learning methodology allowed us to identify and select high quality candidates for the on-site training. Thanks to this approach, we've been able to invite many highly comparative and accomplished published officials from around the world. Again, the participants join us here today represent the distinguished finalists of the rigorous selections process. We sincerely thank you for your active engagement and for the valuable contribution you bring to SHRDC International Training Program. While our focus on the GTSN and the Attractive City policy direction has allowed us to integrate a wide range of urban themes, we have consistently received feedback from partner, alumni, and prospective participants expressing a strong desire for more in-depth selector-specific training. The integrated approach provides a comprehensive understanding of urban challenge and diverse solutions available. However, the rapidly evolving landscape of urban policy requires deeper specialization in certain areas. At the same time, our alumni and partners have increasingly requested a turn to elements of the earlier urban solutions series, which played a pivotal role during Seoul's period of rapid urbanization, such as program on urban regeneration and urban management. This feedback highlighted a growing demand not only for broad, integrated perspective, but also for more focused, sector-specific learning in key policy areas. In respect to this need and guided by the finding of our demand survey, we have developed a two-track approach for our integrated training program. While continue to consolidate a range of policy sections under the GTS and Attract City initiative, we will also pay greater emphasis on deepening expertise in specific thematic areas. Accordingly, in 2026, the program will showcase Seoul's million seller policy, which is the GTSN and the Attractive City framework, providing participants with both a broad, integrated perspective and focused sector-specific insight. In addition, we will place a renewed emphasis on policy solutions that our alumni, expert, and partners institutions have consistently requested, those enduring high-impact policy that have proven valuable to global practitioners over the years, namely steady seller policies, programs such as urban regeneration and urban management will complement our integrated training approach, which offering participants the opportunity to deepen their expertise in specific, highly demanded policy areas. As our colleagues from Metropolis and the UCRG have highlighted, 2026 mark an important new chapter for MITI. In this context, SHRDC, as the headquarters of MITI, will focus on rising standards and providing two-way learning content to enhance the quality and the impact of all MITI training programs. All the same time, we aim to make our content more from the experience of Metropolis member cities, fostering a two-way peer-to-peer exchange of knowledge. So 2026 SHRDC International Training Preview. First, SHRDC will continue to support Seoul's ODA initiative by delivering training programs related to the ODA challenge. As Director Cho highlighted in his lecture, Seoul's ODA engagement is a broad and comprehensive effort, and we remain committed to contribution to its success. In addition, SHRDC will maintain its collaboration with the Seoul Digital Bureau in partnership with the Seoul Smart City Secretary. We will offer training program for Seoul Smart City Prize winner, sharing both Seoul's advanced smart city solution and exemplary global practice with an international audience. Building on the success of the 2025 MITI Sharing Forum and Metropolis Congress, we will establish new MITI centers in the first half of 2026. This strengthened MITI network will allow us to deepen international cooperation, expand the opportunity for capacity building, and share the innovation urban solution across the global metropolis community. For SHRDC on training, we will continue using a blended approach that combined online and offline learning. In 2026, we will place particular emphasis on Seoul's million seller policy under the GTS and the Attractive City framework, as well as the steady seller policies that have been consistently valuable by our alumni. We will also focus on strengthening the SHRDC alumni network. In the second half of the year, we will host a SHRDC sharing forum, inviting all our alumni back to Seoul to showcase their achievement and share their experience. Beyond this event, we are committed to nurturing a vibrant global network, in ensuring that the momentum and expertise of our urban professionals continue to grow. To support this, we will begin recruitment and call for candidates in the first half of 2026, so we encourage you to stay connected with us for dates. Today's session is about sharing our draft plan for the 2026 training program and learning from your valuable insight. Your feedback will help us refine our approach, better serve our global community, and support both our alumni and support participants. We invite you to share your idea openly, as 2026 promise to bring exciting development across many areas. Your continued support is key, and we look forward to strengthening the strong, long-lasting partnership we're building together. This partnership has been the cornerstone of SHRDC training development over the past decade, and we hope to continue this journey together for many years to come. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Kim, for your wonderful and insightful presentation. And your feedback will be very much appreciated. Please send us your feedback and opinions as much as you want. And now we will proceed to the panel, expert panel, where our invited specialists will share their reflections on the presentations delivered today. And it's my pleasure to introduce Ms. Liu Ge from ICLEI, who will offer her expert perspectives. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome her with a big round of applause.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's very glad to see you, and also thank for the moderator's introduction. My name is Liu Ge from the ICLEI East Asia Secretariat based in Seoul, which was established in 2012 in the close collaboration with the Seoul Metropolitan Government. So since our secretariat is based in Seoul, so I would like to share some first-hand collaboration with Seoul and in Seoul here. Actually, personally, I have been collaborating with SHRDC teams, especially Sunbae, around back in 2017 and then 2018. So through this very long-standing partnership, I think I can really see very clearly how meaningful SHRDC's international training programs are. And also, just now, when I listened to Director Mr. Cho's presentation, I very much liked his point regarding how Seoul used urban diplomacy as a way to strengthen both global competitiveness and inclusive development. Because actually, my personal background is also in international relations person. So I think Seoul is not only share the best practices, and more importantly, through these training programs, through this interaction with the cities, Seoul is really building the genuine global connections as well. And also, as Assistant Director Ms. Kim mentioned, through its years of accumulation, SHRDC has really become a global platform to combine the integrated learnings such as the GTSM program with this deeper and then sector-specific expertise. I really appreciate her suggestion for this direction because through Eclipse Network and through our communication and collaboration with the cities, we really realized and feel that many cities are now looking for a good balance between the big picture understanding and also the practical technical knowledge. So from our Eclipse side, as I just mentioned, I would like to briefly share our collaboration with Seoul this year, especially for the two programs we work together. So in September, we collaborated with SMG on a city-to-city peer exchange program with Latin American cities. So through this program, our participants and the cities, they share that they really learned not only from Seoul's advanced climate actions, but more important from this program is about a 5-day in-person training in Seoul. They really see how Seoul actually make these policies work, and also in practice, how Seoul coordinated with the different departments, and also the practical steps behind each initiative, and how the citizens are actively involved in all this process. And also in October, we worked together with Seoul again on a study visit, which with a Chinese delegation from the ministry, local governments, and also the civil society. So this group and also this combine of participants, they were really especially impressed by how Seoul brings citizens into all the policy processes. For example, through their there is a community called the Green Seoul Community, where the citizens, experts, and also the different sectors come together to discuss and shape environment policies regularly. And then the participants shared with us through this structured engagement, they really understand how Seoul builds trust while maintaining consistent and effective policies. So from this both programs, I would like to share 3 observations that really came directly from the participating cities and also from the participants. If you are here, and then I hope you agree with me, or you can also provide the feedback for these 3 observations. So first of all, the training programs really work most effectively when it is driven, when it is demand driven, because we really feel like the cities, when they came to Seoul to participate in the training programs, if they can be more actively engaged when the topics match well with their actual needs. For example, the thematic areas, as Ms. Kim mentioned about the waste, air quality, heat waves, disaster, and then water, this kind of specific needs from all the participant cities. We heard this directly from the delegation from South America and also from China. And the second point is city really value the practical and step-by-step implementation. They really want to understand how policies are coordinated, how citizens are involved, how pilot programs start, and how Seoul maintains consistency across different departments. These practical details are extremely valuable for all the participant cities and the participants. And the last point is knowledge sharing and the capacity building are very important for the international cooperation. I think all of us, we feel and then we really observe that in the past several years, the international relations and also the politics have become more and more complex. However, despite this situation, cities, they continue to cooperate, they continue to learn from each other. So this kind of practical exchanges really help to build trust and help support the real action on the ground. And I strongly believe that this is exactly where SHRDC plays such an important role. And then lastly, as we just heard about from Ms. Kim about the next year's planning for SHRDC programs, and also from what we have learned from our collaboration with the Seoul metropolitan government, I would like to also share a few humble ideas for the collaboration in the coming year. First of all, I really think SHRDC is well positioned to shape K climate, or we can call K sustainability vision. Just like I think all of us know that the K culture and the K food have become globally popular. So from this perspective, I believe Seoul's approach to sustainable governance, for example, combining the GTSN values, the community participant, and all the practical implementation practices, is something that many cities, they really want to learn from Seoul. So there is a strong international demand for this kind of people-centered and also the operational expertise. And secondly, as Ms. Kim also mentioned, I think there's a great opportunity to deepen the thematic contents and also expand the peer learning, because the cities, the practitioners, and the participants, they really express their strong interest in the thematic areas such as the heat waves, flooding, disaster resilience, circular economy, waste management, and the related areas. So I believe, or from the ECLIS perspective, we strongly believe that developing more sector-specific modules based on a demand-oriented approach would be very meaningful for the participating cities and then and all the participants. And also through today's presentation, we heard that SHRDC, through its years of work, hard work, I should say, they really have expanded their network of their training alumni. So I think for the next year, we can also create direct exchanges between the cities and also strengthen the city diplomacy as introduced by Mr. Cho. So ICLE would be very happy if we can really work together with SHRDC and with Seoul for both ideas, so that the cities, when they come to Seoul, when they participate in the training, they can not only learn the policies, but they can really understand this mindset and also the practical experience behind them. And yeah, I think that's all what I want to share from all the experience and all these observations. And then I just want to mention again that ICLE really value this really long-standing and really warm partnership with SHRDC and also with Seoul. So we're really looking forward to work with SHRDC to continue the collaboration in next year. For example, to support this K climate solutions and also strengthen the city-to-city collaboration. And then I believe together we can also contribute to the global sustainable agendas. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Liu. And I also look forward to receiving as many emails, as many emails as possible from all of our participants here today. Your feedback will be very much appreciated. And this now concludes today's session. And we sincerely appreciate everyone joining here in Seoul and also online via Zoom. And your support and active participation greatly contribute to the value and success of the renewed 2026 SHRDC International Training Programs. And also, for your record, you can rewatch today's session on SHRDC YouTube channel. And as we conclude, I'd like to ask all the participants here joining us in Seoul to gather at the front for a group photo. And also, I'd like to ask our online participants to turn on your cameras for the final group photo. Thank you for your online participants, and please wave your hands to the camera. Thank you. Say hello. Say goodbye. Thank you very much for being with us till the end. Thank you.